What is going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. So the first day of free agency is in the books, and what we thought was an underwhelming UFA class led to some pretty big overpayments. And today we are going to be going through my bottom 10 deals that were signed today. Initially, I thought that I'd be doing a video where I'd give my 5 favorite deals, or I'd give my 5 least favorite deals. There ain't 5 deals that I really like that were signed today. I'll give out 3. I think that the Jonathan Drouin deal that my Islanders signed is pretty solid. Gavrikov, 7 years, $7 million. Good for the Rangers to improve their defense core. And the Besser 7-year deal at 7.25 is pretty solid. Outside of that, there's a couple like $1 million deals that I wasn't really going to touch on. Basically, anything signed above $2 million I thought was either meh or just straight up ass. So we're going to go through my bottom 10 deals that were signed. Sometimes the best deals signed in UFAs are the ones that you end up not signing, the ones you get outbid on. And that was very true today. So at number 10, I got the Corey Perry deal. It's a 1-year, $2 million base with $1.5 million in games played bonuses. So I'm assuming that's like 50, 60 games. If he plays that many, he gets $1.5 million, probably staggered like 20, 40, 60, as well as $500,000 in playoff bonuses. Obviously, the playoff bonuses hit. You're not going to be too mad, but it's basically a 1-year deal at $3.5 million for 40-year-old Corey Perry. I'm sorry. That's an overpayment. Yes, he's been awesome for Edmonton, LA, Montreal. Guess what? He was making basically the league minimum there to be that fourth line pest. And in Edmonton, he was able to come up in the lineup, especially once Zach Hyman got hurt, and play with McDavid and Draisaitl. He ain't going to have that in the LA Kings. It just seems like the LA Kings, now that they have the former general manager that brought in Corey Perry, is trying to replicate that. And I don't think it's going to work. Again, 1 year, 3.5. Yes, that's going to be spread maybe $2 million this year, 1.5 the following. But overall, a $3.5 million cap hit for 40-year-old Corey Perry. No bueno. I do not like that deal for the LA Kings. At number 9, we got another LA Kings deal. 3 years, $4 million for Brian Dumoulin. I don't think that it's horrible. I don't think the Corey Perry one's horrible by any stretch. Only like the top 5 or top 4 is really, really bad in my opinion. And Dumoulin was pretty good for the New Jersey Devils. He actually led them in ice time in the playoffs. Obviously, they didn't play that good against Carolina Hurricanes, but still, he's a guy that is still a satisfactory like third pair defensive defenseman. But he's going to be 34 years old when the season starts this year, and he's trying to replace Gavrikov with Brian Dumoulin. 3-year deal, $4 million, solid money. I thought that if he was going to get $3 million, it would be something within the low threes. So for the LA Kings, their defense core, we might be talking about another LA Kings defenseman that they signed. A 3-year deal, just too much term, a little bit too much AAV, and I don't think Brian Dumoulin he might not see the end of this contract by year 3. At number 8, Dan Vladar, 2 years, $3.35 million. Philadelphia obviously had to do something in terms of improving their goaltending. Maybe this does it. I'm not too concerned considering Dan Vladar. His last 3 seasons have not really been that good. He had a 906 in 2022, but even then, just because Calgary was such a good team. When you look at his last 4 years in terms of goals saved above expected, negative 3.8 in that 2022 season, then negative 8.4 in 2023, negative 12.5 in 2024, and this year he rebounded with plus 0.9. So again, if he puts up 0.9 this season, that'd be a massive improvement for the Philadelphia Flyers. Their goalie tandem was horrible, but you're paying an Ursin, Fedotov, and him, Vladar, that trio, $8 million next season. He's not a clear upgrade over those guys. I understand that you maybe didn't want to give up assets to bring in a John Gibson or someone like that. But yeah, this just doesn't really move the needle because, but besides this season, the prior 2 seasons, he was just a league minimum kind of goaltender in Calgary, and it's not like he's going to be behind some superior defense in Philadelphia. Number 7, Connor Brown, similarly to Dumoulin. I like the player a decent amount, but he's going to be 32 years old relatively soon, and he's just an okay bottom sixer. You're giving him serious term. The AAV is fine for the first 2 seasons. It just seems like New Jersey had to bring in some kind of forward. Actually, the Tanev signing is much better than this one. But yeah, I just don't think that he's going to have quite the success that he did in Edmonton. In Edmonton, he was in that perfect bottom 6 role where not much was required out of him offensively. He could kill penalties, play great defense. New Jersey's going to need some offense out of him, and I'm not sure that he's going to provide that at the age of 32. Turns 32 in December. Number 6, Brandon Tanev, 3 years, $2.5 million. Again, like the Brown, like the Dumoulin, I don't think this is a backbreaker for the Utah Mammoth, but I still don't like it at this point. He's just physical fourth liner. He's 33 years old. He's going to be 34 years old relatively soon, coming off a season where he had 22 points, put up a goose egg in the playoffs for the Winnipeg Jets. Similarly to Dumoulin, I think he'll probably be moved off by the final year of this contract. Should have probably, I know that there's demand for players like this. There really shouldn't be. He's basically a league minimum 1 to 1.5. 1.75, I'd be like, okay, that's fine for Brandon Tanev. But again, there was no big deal signed. This isn't going to kill the Utah Mammoths cap situation. I just don't like the deal. At number 5, Dvorak, 1 year, $5.4 million. It's only 1 year, but he has like no chance at actually being worth 5.4 versus like Dumoulin, Tanev, Brown. I maybe could see them living up to their contract. Dvorak's not going for like 50 points next season. When looking at him, 33 points the year prior was an improvement on the 2023-2024 season. And it does make sense in terms of the fact that Philadelphia badly needs centers. He did play under Rick Tocchet in Arizona, but at this point, he's just going to be probably a fourth line center for the most part for Philadelphia. They brought in Zegras. They have Couturier. He better not play over Noah Cates, who they just gave a serious 4x4 kind of contract. So when looking at it for your fourth line center, to give him $5.4 million, I can't quite say that I like that a decent amount. At number 4, the Granlund deal, 3 years, $7 million. Again, Ducks have a shit ton of salary cap space. This isn't some horrible deal like the ones that were signed in the 2024 offseason. But yeah, he's going to put up points. It's going to be mostly empty points. He doesn't play defense. I think that this is only going to affect a guy like Beckett Seneca rising up, hopefully making the team relatively soon, or a Cutter Gauthier in terms of getting more ice time. Pat Verbeek just felt the need to bring in Chris Kreider, Granlund for the sake of it and take away valuable time from some of his young guys. And I think by the last year of this deal, it's going to be he's going to be a $3 to $4 million player, which means he's going to be negative $3 to $4 million. And that's going to be when the Anaheim Ducks are kind of entering their contention window. They should be a safe playoff team by then, by 2020, would that be 2027, 2028? So yeah, when looking at it, not a fan of this. Not a fan of the Anaheim Ducks doing something aggressive. I could have been bought on Granlund going to an actual like competitive team contender on this kind of deal. But for the Anaheim Ducks, it's kind of shit. Into our top 3, and this is where, in my opinion, these are like diabolically bad deals. Ryan Lindgren, 4 years, $4.5 million. He was solid for a while in New York, but we now know it was really just Adam Fox carrying him, especially in the last 2 seasons. Him and Adam Fox had a respectable 55% goals percentage, 48% expected goals percentage. Lindgren on his own, that dropped 10% in terms of goals percentage, 4% in terms of expected goals percentage. Adam Fox without Ryan Lindgren had a 63% goals percentage, 63% expected goals percentage. So yeah, he was an Adam Fox merchant. He ain't going to have an Adam Fox on that third pair in Seattle. And again, this is a guy that, although he's only 27 or 28 years old, he has so many miles on his body. He consistently gets hurt at this point. I just don't know why Seattle would go after this. They have Alexiak. They have Riker Evans. They have Vince Dunn on the left side. So unless they plan on playing him on the right side or planning on moving off Jamie Alexiak, if he ends up stealing minutes from Riker Evans, a guy that actually has shown some promise, is 23, 24 years old, my mind is going to be blown, but I don't even know what Seattle's plan is long term. And next up, Tanner Jeannot, 5 years, $3.4 million. Shockingly bad deal. I don't know why there was some kind of Tanner Jeannot market. I think people are just still betting on that they can somehow bring him back to rookie form, where he did have 24 goals, 41 points. But since then, he's had 45 points in 198 games. And this season only had 13 points in 67 games. Yes, he does throw the body in his physical, but we have seen constant deals like this where you bet on these physical forwards that don't really offer something in terms of actual skill, in terms of actual production. You give them serious terms of 5 years. You give them okay third line money, and they just end up rotting on your fourth line. For a team like Boston that did have some salary cap space to spend, the fact that all they got was Tanner Jeannot on a 5x3.4 and Victor Arvidsson traded for him for a 5th round pick. It's extremely underwhelming. And I think on Boston, like, I liked the idea of Jeannot going to some kind of contender on like a 2x2. He could just wreak havoc on a fourth line. he's gonna, based on the term and based on the AAV and just based on the Boston Bruins forward core, he's probably gonna be relied on to play like a solid, serious third line role, play 13 to 14 minutes a night. He's been trapped in Tampa Bay and LA. Well, not really trapped because he deserves to be on the fourth line, but he's been playing 11 to 12 minutes. He's actually gonna have to play a decent role on the Boston Bruins, and the Boston Bruins are probably not gonna be a good team next season as a result. And then at number one, you know what it is. It's Cody Ceci, 4 years, $4.5 million, especially given the context of this, that Ken Holland gave him that deal in the summer of 2021. That was 4 years, $3.25 million. On the San Jose Sharks, he had dog shit results. I know it's the Sharks, but Lindgren, Ferraro, Wallman, all far better than him on the actual on the Sharks, not on the actual Sharks, on the Sharks. And then he goes to Dallas, where he has the worst expected goals among the defense corps at 44% on the Dallas Stars. In the playoffs, he had a 33% goals percentage, as well as a 44% expected goals percentage. He's 31 years old. You give him $4.5 million. You give him midterm in terms of 4 years. It's disastrous. And also the context of the fact that they gave up Jordan Spence, only got a third-round pick in order to bring in Cody Ceci, open up that spot for Cody Ceci. This is a turbo dog shit deal. Turbo dog shit. And as a result, I think it is pretty clearly the worst deal signed thus far in free agency. I don't see anything topping it, unless Ehlers would have to get like $12 million for this to be worse than the Cody Ceci deal, or someone would have to give Orlov a 5x5. Like, even that would not be as bad as this. What am I talking about? That would have to be a 6x6 for Orlov. But yeah, let me know in the comments. What do you think about this ranking? Who would you move up? Who would you move down? What were some deals you actually thought were pretty decent? I'll be seeing the next one. Peace.